Yes, Lord, welcome to another episode of Cord in the Kitchen. If this is your first time, I'm glad you're here. Let's get cooking, y'all. Y'all brace yourselves. It's about to get real healthy up in here, right? So look, you don't have to sacrifice flavor to be healthy. Now we're taking a healthier route, okay? So for your next day night, try this out, or if you just want to do this for yourself, or if you got company coming over, whatever the occasion is. So we got tequila, lime, and cilantro chicken breast over some homemade Spanish rice with some broccolini. Let's get started, y'all. All right, so this meal, cut down on calories, cut down on time, cut down on them dishes. Do you feel me? All right, and we're going to turn up on that flavor. Now, first order of business to get cooking, we're going to preheat our oven to 450 and we're going to set up our rice cooker here. So what we're using is just regular white rice, or you can use brown, whatever kind of rice you like in this case. But wash it first, give it a good rinse, maybe a rinse or two. And you just want to do that to get some of the extra starch up off of it. And then from there, what we're going to do is that's 2 cups of washed rice into the rice cooker, as you see right there. Y'all, look, with a rice cooker, it is so simple, like it's overly simplistic. If you can do a simple fraction, you got it. So for every cup of rice, you want to double that up on the liquid that you use. Now, we're not doing it in this recipe, but one thing that you can do to kind of give your rice a little bit of extra pop and flavor, boil it in some chicken stock, seafood stock, whatever, because the rice is going to take on whatever you boil it in, essentially. So what we're using today, we're going to use 4 cups of water, just regular old plain water. We're going to do 4 cups of that. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and season up our water. What we're going to use is tomato bouillon. So if you heard of chicken bouillon before, it's the same concept, but it's tomato based instead. And it's going to turn that rice orange, kind of like how Spanish rice is. It's going to give it that nice tomatoey flavor. You don't have to add anything else because it already has salt in it. Then all you're going to do after that is go ahead and cover this thing up with a lid. And then we're going to let this cook until it's done. My rice cooker only has 2 settings, cook and warm. So after it finishes cooking and it goes to warm, we're going to unplug it. And then we just have one more step after that. Once this rice is done, we're just going to pick this up a little bit more with some flavor. So we're going to add some tomato paste in there, do 2 teaspoons of some tomato paste, add it on in. And then all we're going to do is just simply stir it around real good. Stir it around until the paste is no longer pasty, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You want this to be all one nice homogeneous mixture of the tomato paste into the rice. And then after that, we're going to set that aside, move on over to our chicken breast and our broccolini, and then we're going to plate this thing on up after we finish. All right, so let's go ahead and bring on these ingredients for the chicken breast. Let's get to it. So first, we're going to get about 3 to 4 chicken breasts. You can either leave them whole or slice them in half. We're going to start with some onion powder. We're going to go ahead and get some of this Chef Gone Mad smoked garlic salt. Now, of course, if you don't have that, you can get regular garlic salt, but that stuff is fire. All right, and I'll have the link to get that in the description below. This video is sponsored by them. Also, we're going to throw in some garlic powder as well, because garlic powder and garlic salt, they like twins. They go hand in hand. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our cilantro paste. Now, if you want to sub it, get some fresh cilantro, then just put it in a food processor or a blender with some oil and a little bit of salt, and then you'll be able to simulate that same exact thing. All right, and then we're going to grab 1 lime, a fresh lime, of course. All right, those are the base ingredients that we're going to be using for this recipe to go ahead and season up our chicken. We're going to start off with about 2 to 4 chicken breasts. As you see there, you can go ahead and slice them in half if you like them thinner cut. But either way, these are pretty thin for the most part, so they'll go ahead and cook pretty easily. Go ahead and get some of that Chef Gone Mad seasoning, sprinkle that over the top. So you're going to do 1 tablespoon and a half roughly. Don't worry, we're going to massage this into the chicken later. All right, so now we're going to grab your onion powder. Go ahead and sprinkle some of that over the top just like that there. So about 1 tablespoon, that'll be plenty. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our cilantro paste, as you see right there. Go ahead and squeeze a few dabs out of there. Actually, go ahead and be a little generous with it, as you see. Make sure you get that over there. We're going to massage this all in, so it's going to be evenly coated all over the chicken. So just stick with me, y'all. And then if you ain't caught the vibes by now, and I don't know how long you've been following me, but we use minced garlic a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. Like, very often. But anyway, you're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. You're going to add that in there. And then what we're going to do after that, oh, don't forget your garlic powder. All right, you're going to get your garlic powder, and then you're going to take a full lime, cut it in half, or you can cut it into fourths, and then make sure you squeeze the mess out of that lime. I mean, you want to wring it clean, wring it all the way clean till there's nothing left. And then all we got to do next is just go ahead and massage everything on in together. We're going to massage these in, make sure that everything is evenly coated. And then y'all, we're going to go ahead and throw this into the fridge. Let it sit for about 30 minutes, anywhere from 30 minutes to a few hours, so you can let those flavors seep in really well. Now, don't forget about the Casamigos. Now, the Casamigos is going to be for when we actually cook it. We're going to do the whole little setting the pan on fire thing. Now, these chicken breasts here, just follow along with me. Now, these chicken breasts are about medium size. They're not too large, so they cook just fine when I put them in a cast iron skillet. But if you do have a large chicken breast that's real thick, like thick with 2 C's, you know what I mean? Go ahead and take a knife, get a real sharp knife, slice it in half, all right? Make sure you get it open like that. We call that butterflying. And then make sure you get the seasoning on the backside of it too, because you don't want no half blend food, all right? And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and put that back into our marinade bowl. Then we're gonna get ready to cook this. Now, before we get started, because we're gonna cook these in this cast iron skillet, when you're gonna set your pan on fire and you're using alcohol, start with butter. If you use oil, I got a whole fail story on that, right? That's another story for another day. But anyway, let's stay focused here. So you're gonna put in about a tablespoon of butter or margarine, get whatever you got, and then simply just gonna go ahead and melt that on down. And then next, once the butter melts on down, now depending on your stove, before we get on to the next step, make sure your pan is going to be on about a medium high heat, or your stove rather. And then what we're going to do is grab our Casamigos. So Casamigos is tequila, and it's a really good quality of tequila, and it's going to add a nice little hint of sweetness to this, and it pairs so beautifully. But anyway, we're going to grab the Casamigos Blanco, and then we're going to add in, do what feels right to you, anywhere from a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. I went ahead and did about a 1/2 cup. So if you want to settle somewhere in the middle, go ahead and do about a 1/3. What you're going to want to do with this is go ahead and pour that into the skillet. And then, now, the fun part is also a little nerve-wracking, but you got it. What you're going to do is get a lighter, and preferably get a long one, okay? Get you a long lighter, and then you're going to set the pan on fire. There's going to be a large flame that comes up now. So step back. It's going to burn out. Do not panic. Whatever you do, do not panic, okay? You'll be fine. And then once that burns down, then we're going to go ahead and move on to getting our chicken breast started. Now, make sure your pan is on medium-high heat, unless you're using like a gas stove. But anyway, get as many chicken breasts that can fit comfortably within your skillet without overcrowding the chicken breast. What you're going to do is cook those on 5 minutes each side. Once we get to the other side, what we're going to do is go ahead and get our limes, because we're going to squeeze a little bit more lime juice over the top of this, and grab some minced garlic as well. What that minced garlic is going to do, of course, is going to add a little bit more flavor. All right. And then once that's done, we're going to take that off the eye, set it aside, and then just let that rest on the cutting board while everything else is finishing. Now, this is the easiest part right here. So our oven is preheated at 450 degrees. Gonna get your broccolini, wash it first, of course, don't be nasty. And then what you're gonna do is season this up with some lemon pepper and some complete seasoning. All right, get the seasonings mixed in all over the broccolini and everything. Put that in the oven at 450 degrees for about 7 to 10 minutes. Take it on out. We're gonna plate everything up, and then we ready to eat, y'all. Let's get it. Man, hey, look, all I'm gonna say is this. Look, number one, yes, Lord. Number two, we saving relationships, entanglements, marriages, and all that in 2021 with these meals. You feel me? All right, but I'll catch y'all on the next recipe, though. Mark this date down, January 31st. Counter Slap Cooking. My ebook will be out and available to order. Let's get it.